if you've got questions along the way, I'd appreciate it if you just throw those up in the chat so that we can make sure we keep moving. I've got a schedule to stick to, and as you can see from our plan here, I've got a lot to cover, though some of it's going to kind of lump together, and I am actually going to send you away for a few minutes here and there just to give this a try. So let's make sure I post that again, since the numbers have gone up right there in the corner. And sorry that there's just this huge list of links. It's all the same one though. So if you're clicking on it each time, you probably have multiple copies open. So as you can see, here's our plan. We're going to start off by looking at Screencastify, which some of you may know, but maybe you don't. We'll find out. We're going to look at a tool called Loom, which is very similar. I'll give you a few minutes to just practice that and try some of those things out. Once we have taken some time to do that, we're going to talk about Zoom and Meet, and I'm going to kind of lump those together and talk about the requirements there for recording. Again, this is all about recording. We'll take a little time for practice and to play around with those tools. And then I'll talk about how you can go about recording with something else if that is what you're interested in, whether that's a phone, a camera, or a camcorder from 1998. And then we're going to do a quick overview of uploading to YouTube. And then I'll answer any questions you have. As I did yesterday, I spent a lot of time with Pathfinder's teachers, which we had a great time together. And one of the things we did was we take some time to kind of have breakout sessions, well, not breakout sessions as you might know them. Basically, I gave them a chance to work. And while they were working, I just stayed here, and you can go, try things independently, mute and try things out. We're going to do that again today, where I'll give you a little chance to just try a few things out while I'm just hanging tight, waiting to answer any questions you have. So we will get rolling with Screencastify first.
Hey, Michael P., I have a question already.
Okay.
We were just told by another group of colleagues that we cannot do our virtual open house on Zoom. Is that correct?
Well, I can't say to you, you can't do your virtual open house on Zoom. And Zoom is later in the session here where I'll talk about that. But the only way you can record in Zoom, so there's way number one would be that you've purchased the $90 a year license for Zoom on your own, because the school isn't buying Zoom licensing. That would add up pretty quickly. So you'd have to purchase that premium license for Zoom in order to record on a Chromebook, okay? If you have a non-Chromebook, so whether that's an Apple phone or an Android phone or a Windows, Mac, or Linux computer that can run the desktop application, then you could record using Zoom. Otherwise, you'd need to use a different tool. Zoom does not allow Chromebooks to record because Chromebooks require cloud storage, and that's a premium feature for those. So hopefully that answers your question. And again, I'll talk about that more later. So, but sure, let's dive right into Screencastify. And like I said, and I will post this one more time because it looks like the numbers may have gone up again. So just in case. So if you are wanting to get a chance to see exactly what's here, then here's your opportunity. So I know it sounds weird. I'm going to play this video, but I'm not going to actually play the audio of it because I don't care about the audio. I want to just show you what the tool does, what they, how they've done this in a premium form, not a premium form. Somebody has made this video. But as you can see, it's just a simple tool. Up in the corner of your screen, you probably have that same little icon. You can see it up here on mine, and I'll walk you through this in a minute. And it lets you choose whether you want to just do a tab or a desktop or do the webcam and your desktop. You can narrow down to just one of those. You turn those things on, and you need to enable them if you haven't done that already, and you hit record. And once you do, it gives you that little countdown, 3, 2, 1, and you are rolling. You can see this user had themselves embedded in there. But one of the great features about Screencastify is it lets you do this, where you can use the mouse pointer to focus things, or you can draw on the screen. You can annotate things while you're working within there. So it's a really handy little tool. You can see once you've done that, and you can see this guy, he's just hanging out in the corner, which is great. But it's got those easy tools. It's a very easy to use interface. You start it by using that button that he's pointing at right now. You stop it by using that same button that he's pointing at right now, and it saves automatically directly to your Google Drive space. So it's really pretty easy to use. You can rename it right there on the spot as whatever you want it to be. And one of the things that you don't get to see in this video is that it actually lets you plug in directly to Google Drive, send it straight to YouTube, but it also would allow you to post it directly to Google Classroom if that was one of the things that you were using. So now they're showing some of the premium features that you wouldn't have access to, zooming and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to give you that quick overview of what it looks like by showing that video. Hopefully it played okay for you. But again, if you want to hear the advertisement basically for it, you can definitely watch that on your own. Just make sure you're muted. But you can see the benefits of Screencastify that I was showing here are that it's got an easy interface. It's got great tools that help you direct focus while you're teaching. It's got that direct to classroom feature, direct to YouTube. It's cross-platform, so it works on anything. Whether you're working on your Chromebook or you're working on some other computer, it would allow you to do the same sort of thing. And it lets you do some basic editing. In other words, you can trim off the beginning, you can trim off the end if you want to. The minus that's there is that it does have a 5-minute limit. So that's a negative, and I would argue it's also kind of a positive because it makes you keep it brief. And so I'll talk later a little bit about creating YouTube playlists, which would allow you to make longer videos basically by stringing short videos together. But having a 5-minute limit is actually a good thing because a lot of students need short segments of instruction. So, okay. And I can see there's already some comments coming in about it. So keep it up, keep chatting with one another. What I want to do next is actually demo this for you so you can see what it looks like. And again, I don't have the premium version here. I just have the free version. The icon for it is this little, looks kind of like an arrow, I guess, up in the corner there with a play button within it. And I wanted to also point out that on this slide, and unfortunately it just covered most of it up for me, but there is a link directly to the web store to download this. I'm pretty sure I pushed it out to your account, so it's probably actually up on your toolbar already, but you can download it. Well, you just create a link to it. It's an extension. And once you do, you'll see it shows up right here. The first time you go here, you would have to connect it to your Google account. I've already done that. And it gives you right away that warning. You've got a 5-minute limit on your video. So as I said earlier, you can do just a single tab. You can do an entire desktop, or you can do your webcam. I'm going to try turning this on again. Because I've got so many different things going on my screen right now, I don't know, and because I'm doing a Zoom call, I don't know if it's going to actually let me turn on my webcam. It struggled earlier, so I'm gonna stop it before it becomes a problem for us. So, but you can see I've got a microphone here, and I'll just select the headphones that I'm wearing, and when I hit record, it's going to ask me, and you aren't seeing this right now, but it's asking me what screen I want to share with you. And because that appeared on a different screen. And hopefully there you see the countdown, and I just heard it in my headphones, so hopefully you heard it as well. And I'm recording live right now. Now, if I had my webcam ability right now, which again, because I'm doing so many different things, it's an issue trying to demo this. But that webcam would show up in one of the corners, just like you see the guy in the video up there. But I can, just like I suggested, I can use this to highlight where I'm clicking on the screen. I'm going to go back because we don't want to get ahead of there. I can use this to focus things. So if I'm talking about this one has an easy interface, here are the tools for controlling things. Down here, you can see all the great links that I've included, et cetera, et cetera. And I can also hide those tools if I wanted to. I can pause the video right from here, or I can end the recording. And when I end the recording, you'll see, I'm just making sure on my other screen that this is happening, but it's saving to Drive. There's a shareable link there. And like I said, I can share this directly to my Google Classroom space. I can publish it to YouTube, or I can get an embed code. It's already out there in Google Drive, so I don't need to share it to Google Drive, but it is, it's automatically saving it out there. Like I said, one of the cool things is sharing the classroom. When I click on that, again, it's popping off the screen for you, so you're not going to see it, but it's asking me for permission to share to my classroom and what class and what section I'd want to choose. Oh, I hear myself now. I'm like, who's talking? It's me. So this is just a great little tool. Works very, very easily. I could also edit from here as well. Just pop it open in the editor and get to work on it. Okay, so you can see it's a nice short little tool, quick, easy. I could download it too as well if I wanted to. So, all right, that kind of. Oh yes,
Michael. Is this for just one frame? Can you do it for a slideshow?
I guess I'm not clear on what your question is when you say one frame or a slideshow.
Like if I were to have a slideshow that ran automatically with no pausing, or would it work for that? Or do I have to have it pause every slide?
I guess I don't think you, but this is something you could explore during when you have time to practice. I mean, give it a try. I haven't tried that, so I don't know for sure. Not sure what the answer is.
Michael, I think her
Yes.
question might be, if you click on something while you're recording, is it going to work?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Then yes, it would. I don't know if you noticed. Let's see if we go back in here. If you watched my video, notice how I accidentally skipped ahead in the slide. I jumped to Loom for a moment somewhere in here. Yep, I jumped to Loom and then jumped back. So I could have done interacting with the slide that way as well. I could have advanced the slides. And if you had the slides on a timer, I imagine it would just handle that just as well. So it's gonna record your audio and your video. And I'm not sure that you guys are able to hear right now, but when I play this back, I can actually hear myself in my headphones. I don't think it's playing through Zoom for you guys right now. But it will, you would be hear me talking over the top of this, okay? So.
Michael, can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
The memory, when I used it a couple years ago, it would slow down the students' Chromebooks. We were having issues with it taking up too much space, or I don't know, something, they had to be cleaned up. What do you suggest for that?
Well, as far as I know, this it's saving directly, it's going directly up to Google Drive. And when you guys in the past were using shared Chromebooks, which is not the case now, right? So
Right.
Every kid has their own Chromebook, and because of that, there's not going to be 6 classes worth of 5-minute videos
Gotcha.
for each kid times 6 kids. However many use that Chromebook in a day. So that shouldn't be an issue. We also kind of changed the way we managed a lot of that stuff. So, okay. So that kind of gives you a brief overview. And actually, the nice part is what I want to highlight here is that's Screencastify, and the beautiful thing about it is it gives you those added kind of plugins and tools, okay? So I'm going to jump ahead here to the next one, which is called Loom. And again, I'm going to play the video without audio and let you see what it looks like. You can see instead of the square, this one allows you to have a circular talking head. However, it doesn't give you all of the other features. So you can't do the highlighting, et cetera, the annotating, et cetera, on the screen. This gives you some other features. So don't be discouraged by this. Easy interface. You know what? I copied this text. It does not have a direct plug into Classroom. So ignore that. And it does not have a 5-minute limit. I got ahead of myself as I was editing this slide. So, but you can see, you can move this bubble around as you need to. You can resize it just like she has. There are 3 options for the sizes of the bubble, where you want to put it on the screen so it's never really in the way, which is a great thing. And it's really easy to start and stop your recordings. And the nice thing about this one is it quickly creates this, this link for your video right within Loom. And then one of the great things about this, and a lot of the K-6 teachers who might be in on this conversation right now, in a way, this reminded me a little bit of Seesaw in some ways that it works in that you can have some interchange with the video. Okay, so there's a chance for you to post a video and then you can record a reply, as you can see in the button right there. So there's the chance to do some recording back and forth. So it's really quite a neat tool. Again, enough about it. Oops, I restarted that. That tool, this one's Screencastify, right over here. This one's called Loom. Same type of tool, and that's why I'm bundling them together right here, right now. But, oh, look, my camera's working now. So hi, everybody. So camera is working on this one. You can see I have a much more limited tools right here, but I can move this around to where I need it. Let's set it up right over there. I can change the size if you want to see just my chin. That's nice. Or make it small again. Beautiful. I can cancel the recording. I can pause. Oh, actually, I haven't started. Sorry. I have to decide what I want to record. So the screen and the camera, the screen only, or the camera only. I get all 3 choices. I can also record a desktop. So I go that route. I'm just looking to see if that's going to change anything for your experience. But so I can hit start recording here or start the recording over here. And again, you're not seeing this. I am only sharing with you part of my screen, so you're not seeing the choice about what I'm recording, but I get the countdown just like in the other tool. And when I'm finished, I'll click the button. But I can move this around to where I need it to be. Cover up the things that I forgot to edit. That's good. Okay. And then when I'm all done, I'll finish recording. And then just like in Screencastify, it jumps over to the next screen for you. You can see here, I've got, this is my recording lessons and meetings with Google Slides. And it's a very short video. It's kind of cool because you can see that I've got your chat window open right next to the window that I'm working in right now, and a lot of tabs. And so when you go to play this back, as I play it back, I can go, yes, that was great. Oh, that stunk. That was really good. And so that was terrible, as was that and that. Oh, I'm shocked by that. Okay? So I can give feedback as this is going through here. And here's the video that was created. Let me just pop it out there so you guys can have a look at it as well. And hopefully you should be able to see that. But notice I can also record a reply. So earlier today, while I was playing around with these tools, just to make sure I had everything ready to roll for this afternoon, I actually recorded a reply and just let it run while I was working for like 8.5 minutes. So that 5-minute trouble, that 5-minute limit, that is true on Screencastify, but not true here for Loom. Okay, so again, I've got a link, so I could copy that link and put it in whichever tool you might be using, whether that be Michigan Virtual or Google Classroom or Seesaw. You could really put it in any one of those places, okay? So, but I want to stop talking and give you time to play, because that's really a big portion of what I want you to be able to do here, is have a chance to actually mess with these tools and see how they work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set you free here for the next 15 minutes. 15 minutes to try these out, okay? So that means at 12:35, we're going to resume again. You can play with either one of these tools. The links to, one of them is called Loom, the other one is called Screencastify. And so if you're having a struggle finding them at all, again, the links are down here in the presentation. I can post them as well. And I put up in the slideshow some more info, how you might get help on either of these if they are one that you're going, ooh, I really would like to try that. But I would love it if you just take a few minutes and try them out. It's perfect timing because my son just got home and now the dog is barking. So you guys go to work, play around, and I'll see you at 12:35. And Laura, you might want to pause the recording. Let's talk Zoom for a minute. I kind of talked about this at the beginning, but in case anybody missed it, I want to be absolutely clear about this. I think I've been trying to say this pretty clearly to everybody, but I don't know if it's been shared out fully. So I want to make sure everybody understands. When it comes to Zoom, you can only record a meeting with Zoom if you're using Zoom on a Linux or Mac or Windows computer using that desktop app, or it will work on an Android or iOS device. So I know that sounds crazy. You can do that, you can do that on your Google phone, you can do that on your iPhone, but you can't do it on a Chromebook because it requires you to buy a license in order to have that hosted somewhere. So just be aware of that. So what does that mean? Yes.
It's Martha.
Hi.
Cindy's got back feed. We're both sitting here. I just tried to do that on my iPhone. Like I literally pulled up my Zoom app. I watched a quick YouTube, and it's not giving me the cloud, something about save, record to the cloud.
Is it? Well,
I'm missing somewhere. It's a iPhone 11. I used it for everything else. So I just was curious, there's like one extra button.
I'm glad you brought that up because it could be then, I don't have an iPhone. So it could be that on those devices, it's also, Zoom keeps adjusting policy. So I don't know for sure, but it could be that they now require you on a mobile device to also have cloud storage. That's the same thing that you're referring to, that having the, I don't remember their exact phrase for it, but it's basically cloud storage.
Okay.
Having that enabled requires you to have a premium account.
Okay, so it
not
could
just the
possibly
free
be.
account, but yeah.
Okay.
So it becomes quite a barrier to recording anything. If you're trying to do a meeting like this, Zoom becomes a problem unless you're using some other device. And right now, what I'm hearing makes me think maybe I would have to strike out that last line of this slide.
I know,
and
that's
say,
why I was like, I saw when you said that, I was like, all right, I'm going to try and do it right now. And then
Yeah, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did.
if somebody else knows, let me know. But
Exactly. And if somebody has a different experience with those mobile devices, please put it in the chat because I think we would all like to know that. So, like I said, I want to make sure that's clear. Now, I realize some people are using other devices. They're not using their Chromebook, or they're using their Chromebook at school maybe and not at home or whatever. Okay. Or you have another device available. That's fine. So if you're using Zoom, recording is so simple. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on it because not everybody can do this. But basically, after you start the meeting, you click on the button that says record. If you're struggling with that, you just put in a tech request and we'll get to you in 4 to 6 months. That was a joke. Hopefully some of you are snickering. If you can't find record, it means you're probably on a device where it's not allowed. It's not enabled. So you make sure you're logged in, and you should be able to record on a Windows, Mac, or Linux computer that uses the desktop app in order to do that. Because basically it's recording on your computer and that it's not recording directly to the cloud. So you hit record while it's recording. The bottom 2 pictures here are actually the icon that you would see at the top of the screen while it's recording. It says recording, and there's a pause and stop button. And when you pause the recording, it turns red for you to remind you. Again, that's in the upper left corner. And that pause and stop button are also available down at the bottom of the screen when you're recording. Now, if you're screen sharing, it actually moves everything to the top of the screen. So then you've got a completely different issue, okay? Again, I'm being very brief about this. Once you've done that, once you've done this with Zoom, what you have to do is go to that desktop app again and find your recordings after that meeting is done. It will render all of that. It takes it a little while depending on the time of the recording. Once it's recorded, then you can click on that recorded items. And you can see I have one from yesterday that was the Google Classroom session that I did. And then I just click on the button that says open on the right side of the screen. And when I do, it takes me directly to that location. If I'm a computer nerd, I can also go find it by following that path to users/Michael Partridge, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Those would be the steps to find that recording. Once I've found that recording, I need to put it somewhere. So, for example, a lot of those town hall style meetings that we had and board meetings lately, Rick sends those to me, and then I post them up on YouTube so that we have them all in one place. They end up in a file that looks like this. You can see there are 4 files here when I go to that, when I hit that, go button, when I hit the open button on this slide. There are 4 files. The one that matters is generally called Zoom_0. It might actually have more than one name, so I'm just gonna, it's generally called Zoom_0. The important part is the one that has .mp4 at the end is the one that is the video. And that's the one that you would upload to YouTube. You can see it also provides a chat log, so it's logging all of the chat that's there. And it also has an audio-only version that's available that you could put somewhere. You just can't upload an audio-only version to YouTube. It won't take that. It won't accept that. So, so that's what you would need to do, and then you would upload that to YouTube. I just want to point out, I'm not leaving you hanging here. I will show you how to upload to YouTube a little bit later on in the presentation, but those are the things that you would need to do. And obviously, the first time you probably need some help if you're doing this, and that's fine. Let me know. I will gladly walk you through it again. But I'm not going to beat this one up over the head because not everybody's using this tool. So let's talk about Meet for a minute, simply because everybody will have this one available if you want to use it. As of this morning, we actually signed a contract to get licensing so that we'll have the version of Meet that is available now, and plus some perks will be available through the rest of the school year. So we should be in good shape in using Meet. If you need to do a recording and you only have a Chromebook, I would really encourage you to look at this. So how do you record in Google Meet? So follow along, if you will. Up at the top of the screen here, I have the 3 steps that we're going to look at on this page. So after the meeting starts, you're going to click down in the lower right corner. There's 3 dots. Those 3 dots pop up a menu, and you can see there's a lot of good stuff on that menu, but at the top of that menu is Record Meeting. When you click on that, what happens is, over on the bottom left part of our slide here, what happens is the middle of your screen, it pops up. You won't have to go looking for this. It's going to pop up, and it's basically going to say, you have to tell everybody that you're recording this. So, and for anybody who came in late, we're recording this. And so just make sure you tell everybody that you're recording, and then click on the accept button. And then up in the upper left corner, you'll see there's a little REC red button. You'll hear a little chime in your headphones or on your speakers that lets you know that the recording is happening. And the other people in the meeting will see that that is being recorded as well. So it's a nice kind of reminder that things are being recorded. So just like in Screencastify and Loom, it gives you a little countdown. And then actually, not sure if it counts down. It just tells you, wait a second, you see the red light, it means you're recording, just like when you're in the radio booth or on television, which many of you know. Okay, so then what I do at the end of the meeting, I'm going to go right back to the same spot. Click on those 3 dots. I'm going to choose stop recording, and it asks me to confirm that I do in fact want to stop recording. So again, 3 dots, go back to the same spot, that top of the menu, stop recording, and stop recording. Now the cool thing about this is it actually automatically then sends this over to your Google Drive space. It starts doing the rendering process. And then as you can see here, what you're gonna get is an email. I didn't put the whole email out here, but I put for you a snippet of the email. I think actually I can, because of the way I'm sharing right now, I can show you what that email looks like. See, it says Meet Recording right here. And so there's the recording. And the cool thing that if you haven't used Meet much, you might not realize this, but this ETW SSWV MKE, even though it looks like gibberish, that's the meeting code. So I know this meeting code is linked to the meeting that I had. because as I put here, it's actually in any invite that I send. It's right there, ETWSSWVMKE. So all that info is kind of stuck together there. And it takes care of all of it, and then it sends you that email to let you know, hey, I'm done. This is ready to watch. So you could share that out directly from Google Drive, or post it to YouTube if you wanted to do something like that. Okay, so that was sort of a very brief overview of Meet and how you would record in Meet and how you would record in Zoom. So this is, once again, a quick chance for you to do a little practice, to try these out, to explore a little. I realize that some of you may want to even dip your toe in the pool of the tool that you haven't tried yet. Check it out. So if you haven't used Google Meet yet, I'd say give it a try. It's available for all of our users to use. And if you just go to meet.google.com, you're going to see something that looks like this. It's as simple as clicking join meeting. I'll put this one out here as practice, and I hit continue, and basically it says, hey, I'm turning on your camera. I'm going to turn on your mic. Hi, everybody. And then I would click on join, and this is the funky thing. We're in a Zoom call, and I have a Meet call going on right now. How's that for freaky? Okay, so I can, and as I've talked about this before, but you could actually, call people from here as well if you wanted to. You can. Sometimes in the tech office, we just get online with one another. As you can see, my frequent contact is Ted, or I can just dial a phone number if I needed to. Okay, so choose a tool, either zoom.us or meet.google.com, and go explore a little bit, see what you can learn about it. Make sure you take a moment to find that record button if you're in Google Meet, or if you're not on a Chromebook, or you want to explore on your iPhone or Android device and see if you can figure out if that does work. And if you have questions, I'll be right here, and we'll resume our gathering. Let me just look. I said practice at 12:40. I'm 10 minutes late. That's about right. So I'll give you 15 minutes, just like before. Go for it. Have some fun.
So Michael,
Went a minute over in answering questions, but what I want to, again, I'm going to try to be brief about this one, but it's other recording methods because we don't have a ton of time left. But I just want to talk very briefly about other recording methods because a lot of you have a phone. And the funny thing is, Basha and I were talking about this yesterday afternoon in debriefing about how things went during the day. And she said, why would anybody use their phone? I'm like, because your phone has an excellent camera. It probably has the best camera that you own and you don't even realize it, unless you're, Diane Harris. I saw you there, Diane. So it gives you a great camera. It does really a good job with audio. It's just not good for screen recording, right? So if you want to record yourself, maybe just delivering a message to kids, a phone works really well. Just make sure that you're holding it the right way. Don't go up and down, go side to side, right? So make sure it's the long way, so it gives a good display for everybody. It's really easy to do, but when you do a solution like that, you need to upload that to YouTube. I can give you some pointers about that, but I don't have all of your phones. So depending on which version of iOS you're on, and depending on which version of Android you're on, or if you're using an actual camera, or if you have some VCR tapes that you're using. I can't show you every single method for getting that content, but once you find that file, once you have it available, next slide please, we can upload to YouTube. So let me just show you this, and then again, I'll try to give you a little bit of time to ask questions and find this on your own. Okay, so in order to do this, you'd go to youtube.com. You'd find this little camera icon. I took a picture of it here, but that little camera icon right there in the corner, and you'd click on upload video. you will only be able to go live, and you can go live if you want to, from a computer. YouTube's got a policy in place that won't let you do it from a phone, so just be aware of that. But you can upload videos from your computer this way. So once you've selected that, it gives you a spot right in the middle of the screen. It basically says drag and drop your video to upload it. So if you can, from your phone, if you can email that to yourself, then you can just open up your the link and drag and drop it right here into this spot in the middle of the screen. And again, I'll show you this on a live space in just a moment here. Or you can click on the select files, and if you select the files, you'll find it on your computer. It kind of depends on what computer you're using or how you're going about uploading. Then what you need to do is put in the details about it. So you've got to put a title in. It's a good idea to tell viewers what this video is about. The thumbnail, as you can see in the screenshot that I grabbed, it's not available yet because I'd only just started the upload. So it takes it a little time to get thumbnails available, and you can always come back to this. But right away, it gives you the link to where that video will be and what it will be. It's over there on the right side of the screen. And then I put down at the bottom of this slide, you can see I put, you got to scroll down. You can't just hit next here. If you do, you'll get an error that looks a little bit like this. Because you have to answer this question. Was this made for kids, or no, it's not made for kids? Unless you made it specifically for kids, you should mark, no, it's not made for kids. You know, if it's just something cute, but it's not necessarily made for kids, that doesn't mean it's, it could be perfectly innocent and still not made for kids, okay? So it's not like this is adult content, because they'll strike that anyway. But just need to, you have to tell them if it's made for kids or not. That's required by their procedures here. And then once you've selected that, you can click on the next button down in the corner. Now, one thing that I've highlighted here is playlists. That's the top box that's got an arrow pointing at it. I'm going to talk about that here in just a moment and point you to a resource about that. Playlists are a fantastic tool. If you have not explored them, I've got a link at the end of this presentation where you can go find out more about playlists. I fear we're not going to have much time to explore it, but you can use playlists for your own videos, but you can also, for example, if you're spending some time talking about the Mayan civilization and you found these 3 great videos, you can create a playlist that's all about the Mayan civilization and plug those videos right in there into a playlist. And what that allows you to do is say to the kids, instead of here's 3 videos, you send them this one link to that playlist and it will play all 3 of them for you. So it's a great way to link videos together and collect them in a certain way. And you can always add to or remove things from playlists. So once you've gotten to this screen, basically this is for the people who are really doing, like, you know, they're influencers or whatever, right? This is where you do stuff if you wanted to add titles and all that kind of thing. I think you actually have to do quite a bit in order to make this enable. For our work here, we can keep going. And then we're to the last page of this, which is where you would publish. So when you're ready to publish your video, if you're all finished with it, you can, and you know, it's something you don't mind sharing, you can make it public. And if you make it public, that means it is searchable. Somebody could find it on YouTube if they did a little bit of searching. If you make it unlisted, what it means is if you send out the link, somebody can get to it. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to find that video. They're not just going to search and find that. And if you make it private, it means you can see it, and if you share it directly with people, they can see it, but otherwise it's not available. And then the last thing that you're not, I didn't put an arrow at it, but the next box down where you can schedule things, it's a really kind of fun way if you want to make an event out of your video. So what it does, if you schedule an event, if you schedule a video, is it releases it or it makes it a premiere at a certain time. So if you do something as a school community and you want it to be available at 7 o'clock on Thursday night, then what you would do is schedule that for 7 o'clock on Thursday night. And when people tune in at 7 o'clock on Thursday night, it gives you a countdown. And so I don't know about any of you, but our church uses this every Sunday, right? So there's at 10 a.m., there is a countdown that starts. And so that's like our church's theme song at this point. Every Sunday morning when the kids hear the meow, 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 you know it's time for the show to start. So you can schedule things and it will work that way. Once you've got everything how you want it, you can publish at that moment. I did put an arrow there just above the publish button. You can see there's a second arrow that shows you what the link is to your video. It's even though the video is not ready yet, you can see down at the bottom it says 43%, and there's 2 minutes of uploading yet, and it's even after it's uploaded, it takes some time to render, etc. That is all pointed to by that video link, the u2.be/blah blah blah. You can copy it using that little icon to the right of there, and that's how you would go about publishing it. And once that's done, it shows up in the list of videos. It will take you right to this page where you can go back and edit things if you needed to change the name, etc. All of that would be available there. Like I said, this has a couple of bits of help documents on creating playlists and using uploading from various platforms. Because I thought some of you might be coming from an iPhone or Android. All of that is covered there, and it really streamlines that for you. So how does that work? What does that look like? Let me show you. I'm going to go over here to YouTube and just make sure I'm doing okay on time. I have 5 minutes, so you can certainly try this out. But basically what we're talking about is this little icon. Man, they are spending a lot on trying to get your vote, aren't they? This little icon right here, click on create, upload or go live. And I'm gonna upload a video. So just walking you through those steps. If you wanted to try this out, you certainly could. The thing is, you definitely need a video. I'm gonna select a file here. I've got one that I've been using as a sample, which is a board meeting. And once I drop that in there, it starts uploading. It took the file name. I could change this if I wanted to. That's why it's highlighted. I can tell people about what that video is. You can see I already have that link available. No thumbnails yet. Those will come. I can add this to a playlist right from here. I've already created these playlists, but I could add that right from here and search for one. Or you can see, create a new one right down here. And then I need to make sure that I say, no, this isn't made for kids. Kids should not be watching board meetings. Next page, I totally ignore. And then let's schedule it as a premiere on this day at this time and set it as a premiere, get the download, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, I would schedule that. Once I schedule that, August 28th, is that tomorrow? Yes, okay, so I can go ahead and do that. I'll schedule this. And notice it's not done yet, so it needs more time. When it is finished, it's going to show up on this list right here. Notice it's still working. 70% uploaded. Again, even after it's uploaded, it's not going to be ready to share yet. Still takes some time to render. I'm gonna cancel that because I don't really need another copy of that out there. But notice these videos, if I click on the details button, I can go out and go back to really what I was just looking at. I can change the name here if I need to, add a description. Again, change whether there are, age information that I might need to add there. So all of that can be done or saved there. Okay, so yeah, you got about 3 minutes to to ask any questions. So I am going to open it up if there's any questions. Laura, that would be great if you stopped, because